So this coming month, April, is all about moving. It's all about finding new ways to move your body or prioritizing conscious movement. So whether that is going for a walk, whether that is joining me for 10 minutes wiggle on a Wednesday, whether that is standing up from your desk and taking a couple of side stretches like this, I don't mind, but what I really want you to do is make a conscious effort through the whole of the month to move. I will be here as your personal cheerleader. I will be posting practices and reels and motivational ideas and things to keep you moving and to keep you going. But I need you to do your bit as well. I can't do the movement for you, so I need you to help me out with that bit. So today, a little standing sequence. We're going to start standing up nice and tall. Take the feet about hip width apart. So I've done this before, but if you're new, this is a great little tip. If you're not sure what hip width is, bring the feet close together, pivot the toes out, try not to fall over backwards, and then bring the heels in line with the toes, and then that is going to be roughly your anatomical hip width. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you for any reason, if it feels a bit tight, a bit compressed, take them out a little bit wider. I really don't mind, so long as you are comfortable. And we're going to have a little rock around on the feet, softly bend the knees, so you're not locking the knees out, not putting too much effort into it. And then that'll allow the whole of the body just to lengthen up. And if you've been hunched, if you've been sitting or, gathered in your thoughts for this morning, I want you to take your attention to the top of your head and think about just lengthening it up, as though someone just had a little thread there and was drawing it up nice and tall, adding kind of a millimetre of space between each of your vertebrae. Then you're going to let your shoulders roll down, palms can turn out at your side, and that has the effect of opening the chest, counteracting all that hunching and allowing you to take a slightly deeper breath. I'm going to take 2 breaths here, so nice big deep breath in through the nose, and then sigh it out through the mouth. Maybe a little wiggle of the neck, and you're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale. And 1 more. Then you're going to slowly let those arms come up above the head. Grab a hold of the wrist or the hands and just take that little side bend. And this is what I was talking about yesterday on my stories. If you can do nothing more than stand up from your desk and just take a little side bend, and then maybe a little twist to either side, just letting the arms flap around. There's no form to it, but it's that movement through the spine that makes sure that everything feels good. Okay, you spin around to the side slightly so I can use the full length of my mat. Soften the knees, take the hands just onto that little crease at the top of the thigh where it meets the hip. Breathe in a little bit of length through the spine, and then as you exhale, bend the knees a little bit deeper, and imagine that you're pressing your tummy down onto the thighs. You're going to let your head come all the way down. Touching the floor if you can. If you can't, you can use a block, or you can bring the hands onto the thighs. Just finding a little bit of a forward bend here. So we're getting lots of length up through the calves, through the hamstrings. Sway a little from side to side. And if you feel like you're sort of here and you're hunching in the middle back, I want you to take your feet ever so slightly wider, turn the toes in towards one another, and then bend the knees even deeper. And yeah, imagine you're pressing the tummy onto the thigh. So you're not trying to reach to the ground here. You're trying to press the tummy down to the thigh. Again, a little sway, a little dangle. You're going to use an inhale, come up to halfway, and just wiggle again into the waist. Exhale, fold it back down. And once more, inhale up to halfway. Exhale, fold it back down. Okay, we're going to take a little up to halfway. You're going to step forward. I'm taking my right foot forward and left foot back. You're going to come into this high lunge position. So you've got a bend in the front knee, pressing down firmly. Plenty of space between the feet. So they've still got that hip width. So if you look, the knee is in line with the hip. Bit of space between the feet. Bend down into that front knee, press down firmly into the foot. If this back leg is feeling really tight, not quite comfortable, try putting a little bend in the knee. It just helps the pelvis find a little bit more of a neutral position. From here, you're going to breathe in, stretch the arms up, exhale, bring them down and wide to the side. So they're in that kind of cactus goalpost position. Inhale again, reach up, exhale, take them down. 1 more. Bring the hands to the hips, straighten the front leg and step that back leg in just a little bit. Now I want you to imagine that you're pulling your front hip back, and you're pushing that back hip forward so the hips are square in line with the top of the mat. And then you're going to reach forward. So it's that same hinge forward at the hip. We're coming into a really big stretch through the calf, through the hamstring. You can, if you want to, try and reach all the way down towards the floor, but I'm not looking for the forward bending element here. We're looking for that stretch out through the legs. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lifting back up. You're going to step this left foot or this back foot a little bit further back and then turn the toes out and round towards me. And then we're going to put that bend back into that front knee. So a little bit like when we were working in high lunge. And we're coming around to warrior two. So nice and wide through the arms, nice little bend through the knees. If the shoulders feel really tight, you can bring the hands onto the hips here instead. We're going to breathe it in, lift up again, a little wiggle into the sides of the waist. Exhale, bend it down. Inhale, exhale. So this little sequence was inspired by the quote, motion is lotion. So we're bringing movement into the body, giving it a little wiggle, making sure it feels good. Holding here. Take the left hand or the back hand down onto the leg. Breathing in, take a little stretch up through the front. Exhale, take it back. Hands to the hips. Turn all the way around towards me now. So turning the toes in, heels out, that slightly pigeon toe position. We're going to come to another forward bend. Breathe in nice and long through the spine. Exhale, hinge forward. Again, you can take that pause at halfway. If you're near your desk or near a chair, you can use those. Hold on to them and then draw the hips back so you're lengthening through the spine. If you want to try coming a little bit deeper, okay, maybe a little wiggle through the hips, dropping the hands down. Let the head get really heavy. Maybe rock the weight forward into the ball of the foot, in towards the toes. Your hamstrings are probably letting you know that they are being stretched. Gonna use an inhale, come up to halfway. Bend the knees slightly, exhale, press into the feet, roll it all the way up, roll the shoulders. Now, we're gonna work the same thing through the other side, but rather than coming to the top of the mat, we're gonna shift perspective. We're gonna turn around to the other end of the mat. So now, you're working hopefully with the opposite leg. So now my left leg is in front, my right leg is behind. Adjusting the width of my feet so that they're about hip width apart. Hands can come back onto my hips and I take that little bend into the front knee. So we're working with that high lunge. Maybe pop a little bend in the back knee, lets the back feel more comfortable, finds a more neutral position through the pelvis. Breathing in, arms come up. Exhale, take them out nice and wide, stretch right out into the fingers. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down, one more. Straighten the legs, hands come to the hips. Step that back foot in just a little bit of a narrower stride again as we come to a variation of pyramid. So front hip, which again is my left hip, is drawing back slightly. Right hip is pushing forward slightly so they feel square and in a line. And then we're reaching up to the crown of the head and then tilting forward just a little bit. So again, this isn't about reaching the hands all the way down to the floor. It's just that little tilt that tells you your left hamstring is stretching and maybe your right calf is stretching. Breathing in, breathing out. All the while, a little smile on your face as you congratulate yourself on getting up out of your chair and doing some moving. Inhale. Take it all the way up, step that back leg all the way back, turn the toes out towards me. And again, we're gonna open around to the side as we find warrior two. So arms can come up, or you can leave them resting on your hips. Put that bend into the front knee and play with the positioning of your feet. This isn't about how it looks, it's about how it feels. So make sure you feel stable. The only thing that you wanna watch is that you're not leaning too forward into that front leg. Just gonna put a little bit too much weight into that front leg perhaps. Make it comfortable, make it feel good. If it feels good, you're gonna wanna do it again. Simple. Okay, bend into the front knee, arms come out to either side. As you breathe in, stretch up, have a little wiggle. Exhale, pop it back down. Inhale, and exhale. In, and out. Hold it there, drop the back hand. Breathe in, a lovely big stretch through the ribs. Exhale. Turn those toes back in towards the center, coming for a second run past at that forward bend. Breathe it in nice and tall. Exhale, hinge it forward. Either stop halfway, again, grab a chair or a desk if you want to, or you can drop it all the way down. Fingers come to the floor. And again, if you're working up high on the fingertips, you can find length through the spine, reaching the head forwards. Exhale, if you want to, you can let the head get heavy, dangle all the way down. And then we're going to bring a little lateral movement here. So you're going to put a bend in one knee, walk the hands over, push it back towards the center and then all the way out to the other side. So gently just rocking the weight from side to side. If that feels good and you feel like you want to take it a little bit deeper, we're going to drop down into a side squat. So as your hands come over, you're going to bend that knee deep. You can see my heel is lifted, my Achilles, my calves are really tight. Too much running, not enough stretching. Left leg is extended, toes are pointing towards the ceiling. It feels quite good to be here. I'm going to add a little twist in. As I breathe in, open the chest, stretch it out. Good. Now a little bit of effort required as we push up to where we started and then take it all the way over to the other side. And breathe. And then come back up to the middle. Again, toes turning in to the center. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Bring the toes back to that hip width position. Bend the knees. Inhale up to halfway. And then as you exhale, tuck the tailbone and let yourself roll all the way back up to standing. Breathing in, stretch the arms up. And then take that little sway that we first started with from side to side. Oh, I'm going to sneeze, hold on. Excuse me. Okay. And then finish with a little twist. Round to either side. Arms can come up. Hands. Oh, wonderful. Take the hands down to your side. Roll the shoulders back. Let the crown and the head reach tall. Feet press into the mat. You can close the eyes or just soften the focus. Feel that congratulatory smile on your face as you breathe in and then sigh out. 2 more like that. Blink the eyes open and you're done.